Hello Flosstube, and welcome to my very first Flosstube video. My name is Danielle or Danny, but most of you probably know me on Instagram as Lovins Stitchin. My last maiden name was Lovins, and I loved it, and everyone that I met thought it was a unique last name, and even in high school, my friends called me Lovins, and so I also love to cross stitch, and I always thought that if I were to open up my own shop, I would call it Lovins Stitchin, because the play on my name, and then also I just love stitching, and I hope that anyone who would come into my shop would love stitching, or at least leave with loving stitching. So that's kind of how my name came about. When I joined the Instagram community, I thought it would be fun to use that as my name. So since this is my first Flosstube, I do have some notes, so just bear with me there. But I thought I would just give a little bit of an introduction into myself, and then talk about my stitching background, which will kind of incorporate some of my previous finishes. And then I'll probably just follow the usual format of FFOs, finishes, whips, haul. And then since May is literally right around the corner, I'll show you a little bit of my mania plans. I won't get too much into that because there's a lot of kitted up projects. So that would probably take a little while. But a little bit about me. I live in Southeast Tennessee. I've been here for about 14 years. I came here for college and met my husband, and then we settled down. My sister lives about 45 minutes from here with her family, and then my parents also retired here, and they're about right in the middle of between my sister's house and mine, so it's really great to have family nearby. And also my kids get to grow up with their cousins and their grandparents, and so that's really great. I was a Navy brat, so we moved around a lot, which was a lot of fun getting to meet a lot of different people. But then it's also nice to be settled down now. Living in the same house now for I think 9 years we've been here, which is crazy. I do like to change things around in my house when it gets to be like too long, just because I don't think that itch ever leaves you after having moved around so much as a kid. You just kind of have to change things around to keep your sanity a little bit. So our living room changes probably every year, every couple of years at least. I am married to my husband of 10 years as of yesterday, so that was exciting to celebrate that. And we do have 2 kids, a 4-year-old little boy and a 19-month-old little girl who we love and adore, and they keep us on our toes and very busy because they are very busy. And then we do have a fur pup, Sammy. He is a Maltipoo, 5.5 years old, and just a white ball of fluff. And he's my stitching buddy, so he curls up with me every night to stitch with me, sometimes on top of the stitching or on top of the supplies, but he's always nearby, which is really great. So I do work from home, and also a work from home mom, I guess you could say. So I work part-time doing inventory and bookkeeping for a small company. And then I also freelance as a contractor in education, so doing a lot of education administration for some different companies, and right now I'm in my busy season with that. My degrees are in psychology, and then educational psychology is my master's degree, and so I like to be able to dabble in that a little bit while also stay home with my kids. So that allows me to have a lot of flexible hours and work in the evenings when I need to, or early mornings sometimes, or nap time. And so be able to stay home with them and also still support my cross-stitching addiction. So that's really helpful. Let's see. So before kids, I did work in education administration for several different universities and colleges. But then when my son came along, I was in the middle of my master's degree and wanted to be able to focus in on finishing that, and then also with him, and then transitioned into working from home for the different companies. So that's been really great. So that's just a little bit about me. Let's start talking stitching. So I started stitching when I was 10 years old. Like I said, a Navy brat. We had just moved to a new state, and I was being homeschooled, and my mom wanted a hands-on activity, I guess. And my aunt lived about an hour away, and she is a cross stitcher as well as my cousin, and then her brother, my uncle, is also a cross stitcher, so it kind of runs in the family a little bit. And my mom has done some stitching as well. She's a sewer also, and my grandmother is a great seamstress. And so my mom learned how to sew from her, and I did not get the sewing bug at all. My sewing skills are very limited, but I do try to dabble a little bit, especially for little cross-stitch pillows if I can get those out. But she's my go-to for sewing if I need any help with bigger things. But anyway, so I guess my mom wanted to have some backup in teaching me cross stitch, and so my aunt lived an hour away and was able to help whenever needed. So the very first cross stitch, I guess we went to Hobby Lobby or Walmart back then. My very first one was a Learn a Craft for Kids. So I actually still have the pattern, which is kind of funny because it's a teeny tiny little thing. Oh, let's see. Put something on the back. There we go. And so this was a stamped cross stitch actually. And so you just kind of filled in the middle, and you can see this part is stamped. And so he's just cute little whale. This was the first thing that I ever did. And then I did a few more of those little kits that you could get. So I did go and dig some of these out, which was kind of fun just to reminisce on the early days of stitching. Let's see. And I like this little guy. I may have to get him out now and actually put him in something because I love bees. They're just cute. So those were all the same kind of dimensions, Learn a Craft for Kids thing. And then I don't know who this is, Mini Needle Magic Ink. So they've got more of these, and they also came just as little kits. And then they came with the actual little frame. So they're cute. So I did that. And then I pulled up some more that I had finished, but I've never actually fully finished. So a little house, a little lighthouse. My mom loved lighthouses, so I'm sure that's why I did those. Little bear. I may have to finish some of these for summer because they would be cute in like a tiered tray or something. So those guys are fun. So that's how I started. And then back then, that was when I was 10 years old. I would just do a lot of kits because you could find those easily at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. And so I worked on a ton of kits. And so the next one I'm going to show, let's see. I do have the pattern here. It's a sunset cross stitch. So that's the pattern, and it's the Lord's Prayer, and it's a big piece. Probably not something I would stitch now just because it's a lot of detail, and I don't do a lot of big projects anymore. There's a lot of back stitch in here. French knots, which French knots are definitely a lifeline that my mom called on my aunt, because I remember distinctly in our kitchen, I was trying to figure out these French knots. Could have been for this piece because this one has a lot. And we were on the phone with my aunt trying to explain it. I'm sure we ended up having a visit with her for me to figure out these French knots. And I have hated them since. I know a lot of you can relate to that. I eventually found beads. And so if a pattern called for French knots, I would just put beads in because it was easier. And I could figure that out a lot better than these French knots. And then when I kind of really got into cross stitch and went crazy, I guess, last year when I found Flosstube and when I found Stitching with the Housewives. I also ran across Little Stitch Girl, and I bought her houses, and I'll show you one of those today that I just started. She actually did a tutorial right as I was working on them on colonial stitches because she has a lot of specialty stitches that are so cute. And the colonial stitches are fantastic. They look good. They're not as difficult. They don't pull through like the French knots, and that was always my trouble. They always came through. I couldn't get them to just stay on top of the fabric. So now I do colonial knots if something calls for French knots because they're a lot easier. Okay, so this is the finish on that. I'm gonna try to get the glare off of it. So this hangs in my dining room, and let's see if we can get a... And back then, everything was, you know, you get it custom framed because there wasn't a lot of different ideas on finishing. This was done probably 2007. I didn't put a date on it, but probably 2013, 14 maybe, actually. 2003, 2004. Goodness, I don't know my years. So that's that, and it hangs in my dining room. I love it. it's just a lot of fun. So we'll put that back there gently. So again, doing lots of kits at that point. I do have some other ones that hang up in my house. Let's see. But then I didn't stitch a ton throughout high school, but my sister did get married in 2006, and on her honeymoon, she brought back a pattern for me. And I don't know why she picked this particular pattern, but it ended up being perfect because my husband loves trains. His nickname as a kid was Chew Man, and he has passed that on to my son, the love of trains. It's a lot of fun. So this is the pattern that she brought back, and I know I was stitching this 2006, and it was finished in 2007. And it was about this time that I found 123 Stitch and the message board. And there was a group of stitchers that was doing a 24-hour cross stitch. I know there's some of that still goes on. I was 16 at the time, and it was a weekend, and I decided I was going to stay up and work on this piece. And so I remember binge watching Boy Meets World, staying up till about 6 a.m. working on it. And it was a lot of fun. And again, another custom framed piece. And you can tell how much my mother loves me and supported my hobby because of all of these framed pieces, because it's not cheap to do that, but she supported me, and we'd go to different frame shops and pick out what we thought would look good with them. And so it's super cute. It's got the barn, which, I mean, I love barns. Doesn't everyone? And the train. So you can kind of see how my stitching style is starting to change a little bit. So that was high school. College, I stitched a little throughout college, not a ton, but I did do some birth samplers or announcements for my sister. Sorry, there's a phone call coming in. And then when I got married, I did stitch our ring bearer pillow, which I can probably show sometime. I don't have the pattern on that. I think it was from a magazine. And then when I got married, I stitched a little bit here and there. So I was a big collector of cross stitch, and I wasn't very fast. This was in 2002 finished. So this is a Lizzie Kate piece. Happy Times. Let's see if I can get the glare. And I don't actually know the name. Some of these I think it is one pattern. I don't have the pattern anymore. I'll try to find that name of the pattern. But again, it's custom framed. I eventually found the Twisted Stitcher, and I'll show a finish at some point from hers, because I did cube finishes from her and some flat finishes. And so that kind of helped me to branch out a little bit with my finishing, and also keep the cost down a little bit, which is always important. And then in 2013, let's see, I think 2013, 12, 13 area, I stitched all of the Country Cottage Needleworks cottages of the month. And I didn't want to frame each one individually also, and so I didn't want to get a custom frame, so I got a frame from Hobby Lobby. I attached the pieces to foam core, and I had learned how to lace because my cousin worked at Hobby Lobby, I think, in the framing department, so she showed me how to do all of that. So I just attached them to foam core, and I just switched them out every month, and I also put pins in them, which is probably a big no-no, but I put pins to hold it down because I didn't actually lace because I didn't enjoy lacing. It was not my favorite thing. But then when I found Priscilla and Chelsea last year, I decided to completely redo everything. So I found just a background and put that in there that I did with green gingham, I think. And then I put all of them on mat board and used the washers and magnets thing. So this is the April that hangs in my kitchen. And so magnet and the washer. So it just goes on there. Simple finish, easy to switch out. There's, like I said, this was early on when I started dabbling a little more in some different kinds of finishing. So that's a lot of fun. Okay, so I think that is kind of everything. So let's get into some recent finishes. So that kind of shows you a little bit of my stitching evolution. So now I like Lizzie House Needleworks, I like Country Cottage Needleworks, hands-on designs, stitching with the Housewives, as you can see, and then see all of this. So I love everything that they've put out. When I found them, I binge watched all of their episodes, and it was very helpful because I had a newborn at the time. And so when we'd be up at 3 in the morning together, I would be watching Flosstube. So that was a lot of fun. Okay, so my first fully finished one is going to be Buffalo Plaid Spring, and it's from the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And then that is Priscilla's finish. And I did get the same board or finishing piece that she did. As soon as she showed this, I went to Hobby Lobby and got it because I love the beads that came with it, and it stands on its own. It's perfect. And then, let's see. Right now, it's a pretty simple finish. I don't know if I'll add anything else up here yet. I'm just gonna leave it like this for now, but these beads were super easy. They just, they had holes, let's see, that they were tied into because it went the other way. Let's see, the ones are there. And so it kind of like dangled down, and you just had to untie it, and then I just glued them up there, and I did put Priscilla's pretty plaids back there. And then this is a fat quarter from Joann's, I think. So I love going to Joann's when they have their doorbusters and their fat quarters for like $1.50, because I know they'll be great finishing pieces because they're small and easy. And then I do have, I don't know if you can see it very well, there's a trim that I thought was really perfect that I got at Michael's on clearance. And I stitched this on 28 count Lugana Honeysuckle Pink, and that I had gotten from 123 Stitch back in 2011. So a long time ago, when I was just collecting a lot of things, and I don't even know if that's still in production anymore. And I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, I wasn't entirely sure if I was gonna fill in the black or not. And I did post it in the Housewives Facebook to get some advice. So thank you for everyone who helped me out there. Someone mentioned that it's a very delicate finish because it's the lighter pink and that the black might be too harsh. And I thought that was really key. And so I just decided to do the black check that would kind of bring out that checkered background and then also pair it with that fabric that I really liked. All right. So that is that finish. And then I did finish my Truckin' Along May. So this was the very last one of the series. So I've done all of them, and they were so much fun to stitch. I loved them. I'm sad that they're over, but I'm very much looking forward to calendar crates. And that'll be out shipping in just a couple days, I think. So as you can see, it'll just go, I don't know if you can see the whole thing. Lift it up a little bit. It'll just go on that house, so I'll just switch it out. So here's the top, just attached. And I just noticed I didn't put a washer on that one, so I need to glue that on. And I needed to put them on this one too, so it can't go up yet. And so then I think this was another fat quarter, probably from Hobby Lobby. Or maybe it was one from Walmart. And then just a red check that I got from probably Hobby Lobby. And then the bow, and it'll go up there too. So just bringing out the daisies, and it'll go on top of the May. You can kind of see how it'll go together. So that was a lot of fun. And then one more of my, and let me grab it from back here because it sits here. So this is Lizzie Kate's Spring Smalls, and I've now finished all of them. The spring piece is actually way over here. You kind of can't see it. It's not in the screen. And then all of the little pillows I have back here in my adorable little wagon. And so here is the finish on that. So this was the last one that I had to do, and it's Buzz. And this fabric was from Amazon. It was a pack that I got from Amazon, just searching, that I loved. And the other pillows have similar fabrics. And then I did use, because newbie at sewing, I'm still working on it, so none of these are perfect. Kathy Haberman with Hands On Design put out a video on finishing by, sewing all the way around and then cutting a hole in the fabric in the back. and then just covering it. So I kind of cut out, this is wool felt. I tried to make it look like a little beehive. And I just glued that on, hot glue. I don't know if that's a big no-no, but again, not great at sewing. And I wasn't about to hand stitch this on in any way. And these just sit. No one's gonna be touching them, playing with them. It's not gonna hurt anything. So these are the other ones that go with it. So there's the bunny and just some baker's twine. And then bloom. So one of my goals is to finish this, and I did the same thing on the backs of those, you can see, is to finish this entire series. So I've done winter smalls, spring smalls, I've done all of the word pieces already. So now I just have to finish the smaller pieces that go along with them. So I'll start these summer ones soon. I have them kitted up, and then I will start the fall ones probably during Mania. I think I've got them kitted up for that. So those are my FFOs. I do have a finish. So let's pull that guy out. So this is a freebie that I picked up that I found. I've got a collection from 20 years of searching online. I guess not 20 years because online wasn't that long ago. But Trail Creek Farms, I don't know if anyone's heard of them. I have found a lot of their patterns in thrift stores, and I don't know if you can find this anymore, but these are just really cute pillows. I'm not about to try to stitch them in the star shape, though it is very cute. And so spring was the first one that I did a couple weeks ago, and this is just from Michael's. And so I did go ahead, and this only took one night to stitch this guy up. So cute, so tiny. I think I might, if I were to do it again, it's really, really pink. Maybe not do so much pink. And this is Ladybug for the pink, and then the outer border, and Classic Colorworks Ladybug, and then the rest is DMC that I used. And I still have it in my bag so that I can take a picture and make sure I remember what colors I used, just so that I know. So that is the one finish that I have right now, but I do have some widths that I will show. So let's get into those, move some stuff around. The first one, it's in my Stitching with a Housewives bag, love them, is my May sampler of the month. And I've shown my progress a little bit on Instagram for this one. So I've done all of them. They're down over here. I can't see them. But I'll show my fully finish on this once I get it done. So this is where I'm at on that guy. And it's on 28 count coffee tea dyed Monaco. So once I found the Housewives, they really are so supportive and encouraging of the cross stitch community, and I really was able to branch out a little bit more and try new things, which is not something that I've done a lot of. I was very much, you know, a one project stitcher at a time, maybe two if I had a big one and a small one, then I might switch back and forth. But for the most part, I was a monogamous stitcher. And I didn't branch out a lot. I stitched on white a lot, or fabric that I bought that I liked, didn't change my colors, always Colour colors. And when I found them, and they did some tutorials, and Java Girl Stitches has some tutorials on bows, so that helped me to branch out on bows. And then coffee tea dyeing, and I've done a little bit of RIT dyeing as well. So they kind of just helped me branch out and try new things. So I've started stitching in hand over the last year, and that has really helped me go faster. And I don't think the quality of work is any different. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And I think that's also important. So I'll try to get that done pretty quickly. I've not had these done before the beginning of the month for any of them yet. They'll get done. April will just be hanging out for a little while. The next one is the Serendipity SAL, and I don't actually have a picture of what it's supposed to look like at the end. But this is the charity stitch along with that Quartershop that they're doing for Make-A-Wish. They did one last year, and this is my first year participating, but I've really enjoyed it so far. And I think the next one comes out in just a couple days, so we'll be working on this some more soon. But that is where I'm at right now. So I am all caught up. And I did change my colors. They're on my Instagram. And this is on 28 count Jobelin Sky Blue, I think. I don't know if I was gifted that or if I just bought it. I probably didn't buy it because I have probably a yard, maybe more, of this fabric. So I'll probably be stitching a lot of things on it because I just recently found it. And I do like Jobelin. I like Monaco a lot. I like the Linda. And that's for the most part. Even weave is what I like. Linen is too, I don't really know how to describe it. I'm just not good at linen. I even had a project that I was stitching for my mom last year for Christmas, and I had started it and I had a really great progress on it, but it was a linen that I had started forever ago, and I ended up switching it because I just couldn't handle the linen anymore. And so I found an even weave and I did that instead. And these bags, hopefully I'm not showing a pattern, are from Amazon. And so I do have some project bags. I've made some project bags, but I also like being economical. And so I got a bunch of these bags off of Amazon. I think they're on the Housewives Amazon list. Okay, so this is Summerology by the Trilogy. And I've done Springology and it's hanging in my living room. And then now I'm working on the summer, trying to get it done, ready to get switched out. And I've done them individually. So where I am right now, I've got summer, can you see it? Summer, and I got the flag, I love the flag. The houses. And then that little sailboat, oh my gosh. It's so cute. And I'm working on the last one now. And this is the watermelon. So all I have to do is fill in. And I did that intentionally. I just outlined to where this could be a mindless stitch pretty much at this point. Just put in the right colors and go, and it'll go really quickly. I like to stitch when I am in waiting for grocery pickup, when my husband's driving in the car, even if it's a short trip. I always have a project with me. He kind of teases me about that, but that's okay. Get the stitching in when I can, especially with the little people around. And because Mania's around the corner and I decided I still needed some more new starts before Mania, I had 2 new starts this week. It's fine. So this is Bloom by Stitching with the Housewives. This is 28 count black Monaco I'm stitching it on. And so you can see right here, I've got the spring cups, and I do switch these out for fall and winter as well. So I have all of those ones done. I just have not finished the last one that they released last summer, and that's Bloom. So I did, I think all of the white actually. Make sure I get this going the right way. So I do have all of the white done. So now I just need to fill in the color. And the way that I like to do their cups is fill out the entire cup outline. And then I can just go in at the very end and just, again, mindless stitching, fill in all of the white. And then that's the very, very last part that I'll do because it's easier to do that for me. And so, like I said, I did finish. So this is Hello Summer from last year. And then, I think this one said Yard Sauce, but I changed it to Garden. And so I'll finish the other one, Bloom. I might use a different color than the red, but, well, I don't know. Hello Summer always goes in the middle of it. I may use the red gingham again and do that the same. And one more whip that I will show you. And that is, like I said, I was going to show you the Little Stitch Girl houses. So this is the Bloom house. I started with her summer house, and that one's actually up right now since I don't have the spring one. And then the fall house I have, and it stayed up until I put the summer house up because I could not finish the winter one. It's almost done. I just need to finish it. So I just went ahead and did the outline of it. And it did not line up. I was 1 stitch off, so I had to rip out the entire side and then move it over and put it back in. I had added an extra stitch up here, I think. Thankfully it wasn't a ton. On the winter piece that I did, I had to tear out. It was ridiculous. I had to tear it a lot. It was very frustrating, but that's okay. It got done, or it's almost done. So those are my whips for right now. I did want to talk a little bit about haul. And so I have gotten a few things. I am going to, tomorrow starts these sail away stitch along with that Quartershop. And I don't normally splurge like I did. But this looks like it's gonna be super cute. It's a lighthouse. My mom loves lighthouses. I think it'll be fun to do. So I did actually get the bag because the bag is cute. And you could stitch, I may stitch something on here because you just can. I'm gonna do it again. Like I said, I've got a ton of this sky blue, 28 count Joblin, tons of it. And then I've never worked with color and cotton, but I did get the floss pack for it. So I'm really excited to try something different and see how that turns out. So that came in the mail a week and a half ago maybe, and it'll start I think tomorrow. And along with it, I had to get a couple other things. You had to get the free shipping when you're spending that. So this is Tiny Modernist, and I will stitch these individually and switch them out like I do. I don't know if I'll do them this year or next year, but it's at least added to my stash, and I love them. I love anything with houses. And let's see. Also with that one, I got Autumn Gathering. I have the winter one, and this is by Brenda Gervais. Sorry for the glare. I haven't stitched them, but I have them now. And then Bless Our Home. I know this Housewives did a stitch along with this one, and I love it. I did not have it in my stash. And then of course, the Housewives have been putting out their Americana pieces for Americana April, and they're so cute. So I think I have the majority of them now, and I've got them in a bag. And hopefully before 4th of July, maybe even before the end of May, I can get 1 or 2 of them finished. I don't know, we'll see. And then I was watching Cornhusker State Stitchers, and they were going over their Mania plans and showing some of their whips that they're carrying over into Mania this year. And I had this one on my wish list for years, and I've seen it, but when I saw her stitching it, Terry's stitching it, I loved it. And so I went onto Etsy, and it was a downloadable pattern. And so I went and I downloaded it. And it'll probably, this is Search the Skies by Waxing Moon. I'll probably add it to my Jolly July plans. I do need to get it calls for Gentle Arts threads. Look through it and see what I want to stitch for it. But because I like to go all in once I get something, I had navy Rit dye and I had some fabric. So yesterday I dyed some fabric. So this is what I will stitch it on. It's hard to see with the glare. Let's see. You can kind of see. There we go, that's better. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. This is only my 2nd time Rit dyeing, I think. And it's wrinkled, you can kind of see some of the wrinkles too. So that's what I will stitch it on, and I love it. Okay. I thought I would show you guys some of the haul that I got from Michael's. I was looking for the finishing pieces that the Housewives did all of their Americana pieces on. So these are them. And so I picked up, I think 6 of them. They were 40% off, and I will probably switch them out because the colors are ones that can go for Christmas, fall, spring, winter. Blue could be winter. So I'll probably use washers and magnets to switch things out once I actually get to using them. But one Michael's did not have them. And so I told my husband I was hoping to go to the other one across town and see if they had them. And they did, but before I found them, I found the Easter clearance, 80% off. So I thought I'd show you a couple things that I got with that. I didn't spend more than $4 for any of these pieces, and they'll be great finishing pieces. So this is one. I may try to figure out how to take this bunny out. He's just stapled in the back. but try to take him out and then put something in there or put something over him. Or, I don't know. We'll see. I just love it. Super cute. And this truck was also in the spring section. And I will not paint it because I love the rustic look of it. I'm sure there's something that I can do with it. And then there's this little trellis piece. And I'm sure I can come up with something for that. And that guy's cute, already has a bow on it. Love it. Even if I don't finish something on these, I could probably put them up still because they're cute. This guy would be easy to take these guys off probably and then put something there. And that guy, I think Priscilla may have finished something in this one actually. And I think she mentioned she had tried to take the bow or had thought about it but forgotten to take him off. And then one more piece. Cute. So if you haven't been to Michael's recently, clearance is 80% off and they've got some great stuff. So I think for my plans for Flosstube, what I will probably do is once a month hop on here and show you what's going on. But with Mania, I may try to do a mid-May update because it is going to be crazy. So my Mania plans are, last year was my first year doing Mania, and because before that I was a monogamous stitcher, I decided to start all the things and do 31 starts. I may have had more than that and done a couple different starts on one day and done 32 or 33 new starts. But then this year I decided however many I finished from last year, and I decided this I think in January as I was starting to plan and look at, you know, the Christmas haul and everything like that, that I would allow myself that many new starts. However many I finished from last year, I could have that many new starts. And then I would work on my other Mania whips from 2020. So I think I finished about 20 projects from Mania last year. And so that gives me 20 new starts, maybe a little bit more, we'll see. And I do have, so I've got a basket that they're all in. Woo. And so these are the ones that I started last year over here, and I'm just gonna pick from the basket. I didn't put any dates on them, any plans. I'm just gonna go with what I wanna do that day and try to work 30 minutes to an hour on each piece. Shout out on Ziploc because that's how I did things early on. And then I will just pick from the bag. So that's my plan. And I will show you the progress that I've made from last year. Most of, not all of them, but most of the whips from last Mania I haven't touched that I'll be touching again. Just because I've been working on a lot of other things. So many cute things always are coming out and I can't keep up. My stash continues to grow and grow and grow, as I'm sure everyone can relate. So thank you so much for everyone for hanging out with me, for checking out my Flosstube. I was a little bit nervous, so hopefully everything went well. I'm sure I forgot something, lots of things, but I had fun doing this, and I'm really hopeful to meet some more stitchers through this and just be able to share my crafts. I know for me, Flosstube and Instagram has really been a way for me to get inspired by other stitchers, to find other haul that I want to get. And that's really a lot of fun to be able to grow my skills and my craft and also relate to other stitchers, as I don't really know a lot of other stitchers in person. And so that's been my way of being able to share my hobby with others who can relate to the kitting of a project. They can relate to frogging a project. They can relate to picking floss colors or being able to see where everyone's at on different projects or doing a stitch along and just watching everyone go through it with you. So that's a lot of fun for me and I've really enjoyed it. And so if you have any comments, any questions, feel free to put them in the box below and I'll try to link a couple of the things that I did mention in the video. This is brand new to me. I don't know how to edit a video, so I'm probably not gonna be edited. And I'll gonna figure out how to upload everything. So that'll be fun, something new also. But I hope everyone has a great week, lots of stitching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.